What's happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 27 of Matt Chat. I'm your host, Coach Cala. This is the podcast where we talk NCAA wrestling, USA wrestling, and overall wrestling in general. Number one podcast in the world, according to my mom and dad. Just kidding. They probably think, what am I still doing on this YouTube journey? No, I'm playing. They're the best. Super excited to be on here. We had a great turnout over the weekend for our Matt Chat, so I really appreciate you all. Just a local PE teacher from Connecticut, marathon runner, high rocks athlete, but my goal in life is just to help my students and supporters get moving. So thank you for joining me. But for this Match Chat episode, we're just going to do a recap about what happened at Final X. So we're going to talk about it, and it should be about 30 minutes, and then we'll get you out of here. So we're just going to see who's here in the chat. And then let me just type it in on my YouTube. Let people know that we're live right now. I'm so close to getting monetized, so please turn in, like, subscribe, tell your friends to join, even if you don't want them to. Come on, man. We are live. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to go over the results for Final X the other day. But overall, I really thought Final X was a great thing, or a great event that happened with the USA wrestlers. I like seeing the best wrestlers in the world go at it. They're not taking breaks. You know, some of them are ducking each other at RAF, which is totally fine. The best match in my head was obviously seeing Spencer Lee get that W after losing 4-0 to Luke Lildahl in the first half of that match. That was insane. Best moment, I actually think to me the best moment of the night, and I'm just going off questions that I got earlier from some of my wrestlers. Some of the best moments the best moment to me has to be Stephen Buchanan getting a win over Kyle Snyder. In time, I really did think Snyder was just getting taken down. But as you watch the Instagram reels and the replays, people are really describing how he was kind of fleeing the mat. So you know what? It is what it is. He got out. Buchanan got the dub. And my biggest takeaway out of all the matches is definitely at 61 kilograms. The true freshmen, Jax Forrest and Marcus Blaze, are going to be running the USA wrestling team for the next decade, NCAA wrestling for the next decade, and it's going to be the biggest rivalry in sports. I am so excited that they're both 19, they're both the same weight, and they're both going to be battling each other for the next at least 10 years. I am so pumped. And right away when Jax Forrest lost the other day, everybody was like glazing. And Marcus Blaze deserves all the credit. But you don't need to say he had the flu at NCAAs. Come on. Not everybody's Michael Jordan. I don't know if Blaze can beat him, but he's definitely going to do well. And let's be honest, it is so tough to score on Marcus Blaze. And I just want to say I really appreciate you in the chat, brother. Appreciate you in the chat. But we're going to see. We're going to see what happens with that. Marcus Blaze is an absolute beast. But I'm going to just share my screen really quick, go over who won, and then I'm going to ask a few more questions. But you all rock. Thank you again for joining me. It really means a lot. So close to getting monetized. So tell your friends to subscribe. I'm going to tell my wrestlers to log in too so we get those likes up. Log in to my YouTube Matt Chat. All right. We're just going to go over the men's freestyle quick. So at 57 kilograms for the third year in the row, we got Spencer Lee. I think he's everybody's fan favorite. No disrespect to Luke Lildahl, but he's always done it. He is the best wrestler for sure, Spencer Lee. But I just feel like as soon as he hits adversity, everybody's like, oh, this is it. This is it. He's going to lose. He's going to lose again. And like he gets that like underdog moment, which just isn't good. Like, don't you feel that when you're watching his matches? You're just like, he's so good, but why do I feel like he still might lose? But he crushed it. Down 4-0 early in that second match was unbelievable. I really thought that was it. And then he wins and falls in front of Cale Sanderson. Like, how is that? There's got to be so many group chats of him falling right in front of Cale Sanderson. The adrenaline dump, him getting hit in the head, whatever it may be. He can never just win or lose lately without somebody talking about his match afterwards. So I'm really pumped that he discussed it after, saying it was just an adrenaline dump. But Spencer Lee, you're the man. Let's do a video together one day. Let's go. 61 kilograms, fourth place finisher at NCAAs this year as a true freshman, beats the NCAA champ, Jax Forrest. Marcus Blaze, you are an absolute incredible wrestler. Anybody that says you aren't good is crazy. Do I think you're going to win Worlds? Not quite sure yet. Hopefully you play some metal. Let me go back to Lee really quick. Lee had a rough Worlds tournament last year. If anybody in the chat can remind us who he lost to, that would be huge. But I think he is going to win it because I really do think him, RBY, Luke Lodal, the Americans are the best at that weight class right now. I feel like most of his competition went up to 61 kilograms. I could be wrong. But Spencer Lee is crushing it, and I hope he wins Worlds. I would like to see Marcus Blaze medal, but there's a lot of tough guys there, but we'll see. One of my other picks to win the Final X tournament over Ridge Lovett is Zane Rutherford. Zane Train is back. He looked absolutely unstoppable. He looked like prime Zane Train. He's just an absolute beast. Zane Train. Type it in the chat. Lee got killed by arson. Heart. Marcus, you're the man for all these comments. You are the man. Thank you. Somebody like that in the chat. Come on. How? Just unbelievable. You're the man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Spencer Lee's got to step up this summer. But Zane Train really looked unstoppable. Like, who are we kidding? He looked really good. He looked like vintage Zane. I think he's going to win a world medal this year. If you could type in the chat who's his biggest competition, that would be huge for me. I am a teacher, but we have summer break, but I also worked all day today, so get moving. All right, moving on to 74 kilograms. Another pick for Coach Cala. I'm crushing it. I got 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 pick, 4, 5. No, I don't know if I can't remember what I picked. James Green looked unstoppable. David Carr, I really think he's going to be the next guy for sure because I can't imagine Mitchell Messingbrink is joining Worlds. I still don't understand why Mitchell didn't wrestle this year at Final X. I asked my wrestling coaches too, and they're just saying that he needed a break. I don't know, man. When you're a high school wrestler or a college wrestler, you're wrestling every weekend, regardless what happens. So we'll see what happens with Mitchell. But I called it in my match chat before the weekend started. I felt like James Green was going to have one last run. I think he's going to retire this year, but he looked phenomenal. David Carr had a great match, the second match, but I do think, honestly, all that nosebleeding really distracted James Green from winning the second match. It's a lot of stop and go and a lot of stopping his momentum. I looked at some of the other videos people were saying. They were saying maybe that was helping or messing up David Carr. I don't know. When you're losing all that blood, that's all you're thinking about, I feel like, at that level. Like, my nose is bleeding nonstop. I'm still wrestling the second best guy here. This is rough. But shout out to James Green. You're an absolute animal. I knew you weren't getting it up. I was really shocked that Green didn't represent Virginia Tech. Marcus, you know what's good with that? Why wouldn't James Green represent Virginia Tech? Didn't he just leave to go coach there? I've been trying not to watch too many other videos to like take people's content, but like that's like a huge thing. I was like, how is he still representing Nebraska? Good for him. Good for Coach Manning. I'm proud that he's representing the Nebraska wrestling team, but he just left. It's kind of crazy. I hope so too. Hope he carries that domination to world. I hope so too, my man. So I don't know what is going on with James Green. He is on the Virginia Tech coaching staff right now. He'll be coaching Bo Bassett to a few national championships without a doubt, but he is unstoppable. Just like Marcus said in the chat, I really hope he brings that juice and that energy into Worlds and just crushes everybody. Moving on, I called this one for sure. Now, I do think Levi Haynes is one of the best in the world at 79 kilograms. But if he wrestles more guys that are skilled, similar to Chance, but as jacked, he's going to have a tough time. He broke Chance. I don't know how bad that ribbon injury is. No disrespect to him, but I think he's got to hang it up or just do RAF. And I'm not telling him what to do. He would obviously mess me up in a wrestling match. But Levi Haynes is just young. He's going to be taking that spot at Worlds every year. Who is going to beat Levi Haynes at 79 kilograms? Where is Dean Hamony? Where were those guys? I didn't see them. Levi Haynes, I called it, was going to beat Chance Marsteller 2-0. Not only did he beat him, he broke him. Shout out to Chance for finishing the matches, even with a hurt rib. Like, you're a true wrestler, warrior. But Levi Haynes looked way too slick. He looked so calm out there. Like, I don't know what it was. Everybody should wrestle like Levi Haynes. He is so good. It's unbelievable. But yeah, shout out to Levi Haynes. You're a beast. I wonder if he was beating up Mitchell Messingbrink. Does anybody? I don't understand where Mitchell was this whole time. This is crazy. What up, Roydster? 96, kid. You the man, brother. Thanks for joining. I just don't understand why Mitchell Messenbrink wasn't wrestling. I don't know if he thought he could beat James Green at 74 kilograms, but I'm assuming, and I'm going to start some drama. I think Levi Haynes is just destroying him in practice, and Mitchell was like, "Nah, I don't want any of that work today, bro." I do think he's super tough, but yeah, that weight class is wicked tough at Worlds. I'm with you on that one. But let's talk perhaps the best series of the night. The man everybody counted out. What is he? A 3-time gold medal world champion, 4-time national champion in 4 different weight classes. Kyle Dake's going for 3 gold medals in 3 different weight classes. I mean, how do you count out Kid Dynamite Kyle Dake from Cornell, now wrestling at Penn State with the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club? Kyle Dake, I actually do think I picked Zahid to win it. I can't remember. I have to look back. I might be cooked for that one. Zahid was way too confident after that first match when it was super close, wicked close. Zahid, second place, man. You were broken in that last match, and you were talking all that junk to Kyle Dake in the previous podcast stuff you were doing, all the interviews, this and that. You were saying he's a has-been, never was. Nah, but you're cooked. Yeah, that was crazy that you did that. But shout out to Kyle Dake for getting back on the world team. He is not too old. I think this is going to be his last time doing it. I think he's going to go out there, win a world medal, and then perhaps wrestle for the 2028 Olympic team, unless Zahid gets really good. But we're going to see what happens with Zahid. He's still a great wrestler. But man, Kyle Dake just dominated in that third match. It was ridiculous to watch. It was so good. That was definitely a statement performance to me. Let me know what you think in the chat. Still one of the safest bets for Team USA in my eyes. I think he's easily a top 3 finisher, world medalist for sure. I'm assuming he's going to get the gold. He looked unstoppable against Zahid. What impressed me the most for Kyle Dake was just his takedown defense in the second and third match was just ridiculous. And he's just in great shape, and he's 36. It's wild to me. That is so crazy. Again, my favorite story is meeting him after he won his second national championship, and he put my volunteer assistant coach in a cradle. And that's usually why I can't really root for him, because that guy was like 100 pounds and Kyle Dake was 149, but no big deal. Moving on to 92 kilograms. I forget why they did this match the weekend before, but if anybody in the chat can remind me, I'm really pumped that Trent Hidley won and made the team. NC State, shout out to them. One of the best wrestlers from Connecticut wrestled with him at NC State, Kevin Jack, which is sick. But why did Trent Hidley wrestle the weekend before? Because that kind of crushed my Matt Chat vibes for the night. It's crazy. But shout out to Trent Hidley for making it. I don't even remember who he beat, to be honest with you. But at 92 kilograms, I feel like that's Trent Hidley's weight. I mean, if he's beating a lot of good guys lately. I mean, he is crushing it. He's winning a lot of REF. He's doing this and that. He made the world team again. I mean, didn't he win worlds last year? Yeah, he won in 2025 the world championships. So shout out to Trent Hidley. When Aaron Brooks comes back, who knows what's going to happen, but good for him for crushing it. He is obviously the biggest surprise to me on this list. No, I'm just kidding. Trent Hidley, you're an animal. Moving on to 97 kilograms. The 7-time world team, 10-time world team member has Kyle Snyder missed the world teams in the last 10 years? The youngest Olympic champion ever besides Henry Cejudo. I mean, Kyle Snyder is just a force to be reckoned with. He is literally Captain America for Team USA. He's only had one hiccup in his career. No big deal. Well, kind of a big deal, but he can handle that on his own. But that brings me to the biggest surprise of the night. And if you're just joining, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate you all watching this Matt Chat. But the biggest surprise of the Final X tournament was for sure Iowa's own Stephen Buchanan taking one match away from Kyle Snyder. His first USA or domestic loss in America since 2015, 2016, when he lost to Jacob Varner, who is now coaching him at Penn State. Could be wrong with that one. But that is unbelievable. Shout out to Stephen Buchanan. He's working. He's only been wrestling freestyle for a year. So Iowa, everybody that counts Iowa out and the Brands brothers, you're You gotta get your wrestling knowledge back up. Even I made a controversial video about that stuff. Go check it out. But the Branch brothers really know what they're doing when they have elite guys in there that want to win. I mean, Austin DeSanto's a beast, Stephen Buchanan's a beast, and of course, the legend Spencer Lee, who we all are hoping wins gold this year. Moving on to the last match of the night, but first, let me just check the chat. Marcus, you're crushing it. You're the man. Kyle Dake is awesome, especially at his age. Yeah, I'm rooting for him too. How can we not? Hidley was in a wedding or something. Yeah, but I mean, I understand. Like, you can't just leave or postpone stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's whatever. Snyder versus Saduleb. Why am I so bad at spelling his name? I watch all of his matches. Saduleb Duck 8. Part 8. Word. Yes, sir. Can't wait. Can't wait. He has the toughest weight class this year, too. That's a big weight class for him. Who's Kyle Dake's biggest opponent for that match? I can't recall. Because I feel like everybody is bumped up to the 97 kilogram match. Moving on, though. But appreciate you really in the chat. 125 kilograms. Wyatt Hendrickson. He is having a phenomenal last 2 years. Appreciate you, Marcus. Wyatt Hendrickson is an absolute beast. And let's not forget about Mason Parris, who nearly pinned him in that first match. I saw a clip on Instagram from Flow Wrestling saying he wasn't pinned. I mean, if the ref just slapped him he looked pretty pinned. But that's not a surprise to me that he didn't get pinned. He fought off his back as much as he would. He's an absolute beast. Wyatt Hendrickson versus Mason Parris was, I think, the performance of the night. If I had to pick one wrestler who stole the show, their second match was just ridiculous. Nonstop scoring, back and forth. Mason Parris wrestled until the last whistle, and that's what we want to watch in wrestling. Do I think he really didn't hear the ref blow the whistle and he did that move to to Wyatt Hendrickson? Yes, I don't think Mason Parris was trying to hurt his fellow USA teammate. I mean, again, the person that takes second is still on the team. But that was an unbelievable match to me. This might be the strongest Team USA team since Dake and Taylor were on the same team. So, 4 years, 5 years? I can't think of another team that is this stacked. Even going into the last Olympics with Aaron Brooks, Spencer Lee, and them, completely stacked. But for Worlds, I truly think this is the best World team in at least 5 or 6 years, maybe 6 or 7. That was crazy. I can't believe I just did that. That's what happens when you teach elementary school every day. But yeah, this is by far one of the best Worlds team we've had in quite a long time. Can we medal at every weight class? I think so. I mean, why not? Spencer Lee should be a gold medalist. I'm just putting it out there. Marcus Blaze has the best defense and stance in all of wrestling. Very tough to score on. He's only 19 years old. He should be a top 3 medalist. Why not? Zane Rutherford was a 2023 world champion and one of the best NCAA wrestlers of all time. If anybody wants to watch a Zane Rutherford match, you watch his match where he's tech pinning his wrestler in the NCAA finals and he's just counting the points, swiping on him like he's on Tinder or something, swiping like the ref while he's doing while he's pinning the guy in the NCAA finals. It's just crazy how he's doing that. And then James Green should medal if he's looking like he did the other day. It was phenomenal. Levi Haynes just beat Chance Marceller, who was a world medalist. Levi Haynes is unstoppable at 79 kilograms. If Levi wrestles like Levi does, he should be fine. Kyle Dake at 86 kilograms, crushing it. Should be another, a 3 or 4 time world champion. Trent Hidley's been doing fantastic. He should medal. He was the 2025 world champion. Kyle Snyder, we all know him by now. She's going to be either first or second. And then Wyatt Hendrickson, who did not place at Worlds last year. But I think training with David Taylor for a year of freestyle, he should be a top 3 guy. So we're going to see what happens with them. Quick recap for the girls. Morgan Turner, 50 kilogram women's freestyle champion. Christelle Rodriguez, 53 kilogram champ. Everest Leidecker, champ. A shout out to Helen Maroulis for being on the team again. What is this, sir? Her 10th or 12th time? She's an animal. Her high seats or sweeps, just so good at wrestling. Abigail Nettie, 59 kilograms. No shot am I pronouncing that name, but shout out to you. Kayla Miracle, what a great name. And Amit Elor, I will not lie. They should not have the men's and women's at the same time. It took a lot away from me watching the women's matches, so I'm not going to lie. I was really focused on doing my match app for the men's. No disrespect to any of them. They were all phenomenal athletes. If you need a recap, Flow Wrestling has it all right here. Spencer Lee won 7-1, then 8-4. Marcus Blaze won the first match 2-2. So you might be reading this as a tie, everybody that's listening into the chat. However, if you score the last point, you have the advantage. Jax Forrest versus Marcus Blaze. Jax looked ridiculously good in the second match. I don't know what happened in this third match, but Marcus Blaze showed him who's the real champ. So we're going to see what happens next year at NCAAs. I cannot wait for it. Ridge Lovett scored the first point of the whole series. And for a kid that's only been wrestling freestyle for a year, he looked phenomenal against arguably one of America's best ever for college wrestling, Zane Rutherford. But Zane went 2-0. Moving on to 74 kilograms, James Green looked really good in the first match, 6-3. Again, looked really good in the second match, but his nose was constantly bleeding. So it was really tough for James Green, I think, to focus. And I love David Carr. Shout out to David Carr. Let's do a YouTube video together. Love your content. You're the man. 2-time champ, 5-time five-time Big 12 champion. David Carr, you're the man. But I really do think the nosebleeds from James Green was really affecting his outcome of the match. And then James Green got it done 4-1 in round 3. I will say David Carr looked like he got his mojo back. He didn't look too great at the World Team Trials. Cam Amin beat him that day, and somebody else that took his soul just didn't look like the David Carr we all know and love. But shout out to David Carr for getting at least one win that day. Levi Haynes, I predicted this. I think he took Chance's confidence away from him. Chance had the hurt rib. Shout out to Chancellor for finishing both matches. He was super tough. But I just think this is going to be Levi Haynes' weight class for a long time. Unless Mitchell Messingring comes out to wrestle him, or at 74 kilograms, or if Dean Hamady steps up to wrestle Levi Haynes. I'm not really sure where Dean Hamady was for this either. I think Dean tore? Maybe Dean tore something. I can't remember, from Oklahoma State. If my man Marcus is still in the chat, please let me know. You're the man. Again, Levi Haynes, 2-0. The best matches of the night by far was Zahid Valencia versus Kyle Dake. First match was 3-2. It was a nail biter. It was just crazy going back and forth, back and forth. They were slapping each other, saying Kyle Dake slapping me in the face, put the finger thing. I don't even know what they were pointing at. Non-stop with that. It was crazy. Kyle Dake over Zahid Valencia in round 2. Kind of just dominated. And I can't remember if this was the match where he got a weird takedown call. But he did great 4-1, and then he just took his soul 4-0 in that last match. But I just remembered something. Why didn't, and I think David Taylor is one of the best ever, my favorite wrestler, one of my favorite wrestlers for sure. Great coach right now, coached by Cale Sanderson, so he knows what he's doing at Oklahoma State. But why didn't he throw the brick for the Marcus Blaze Jax Forrest match in the second match of the night, where he lost third match of the night? Because Jax Forrest is still holding on to the leg, and unless it's different in freestyle, where if you go behind it while they're still holding your leg, it's not a takedown. It didn't look like he had full control even when he was on top, because Jax was looking into his knee, trying to get it out, bringing it over his head. He could have done something, but David Taylor's not one to shy away from the bricks. So I'm really, really uncertain why he didn't throw it out. So if you know in the chat, please let me know what your thoughts are on why Coach David Taylor, the legend, didn't throw out the brick for Jax Forrest in that match, because that would have been a 2-2 match. And I think Jax Forrest would have won. So you never know. You got to take a chance. All right. And of course, there we go. Trent Hidley beat Mikey Machiavello. 2-1 Trent Hidley. And then 8-3 Trent Hidley last weekend. Mikey's been doing pretty good for a guy that I don't think was an NCAA champion ever. Hasn't really done much on the freestyle stage. He upset a few people at the World Team Trials too. And I think he's one of the guys that used to call out Carter Strachey. Maybe I'm wrong. Crazy. The most surprising match of the night, though, for sure, right here. Stephen Buchanan from Iowa has only been wrestling freestyle for 1 year. He looks like a wide receiver, a cornerback, just an NFL player. He's a monster. Kyle Snyder beat him in the first match pretty easily, 5-2. But Buchanan got a sick takedown on Snyder, took him out of bounds. The refs did their job. they said the world and Olympic champ was fleeing the mat. And after watching a lot of replays, you could kind of see him like putting his head down and trying to like, sneak out. Could it just be optics maybe? But thought he did a fantastic job getting the win there. For Kyle Snyder's second loss in America, on a domestic loss, I should say, in over maybe 10 years. In his whole career, though, in freestyle, which is crazy. And then Kyle Snyder won pretty easily, 9-3 in that last match. I think Stephen Buchanan kind of was probably like, yeah, man, I got that one win on him, so let me come back next year. But I don't know what their mindset's like. Well, who knows? Last match of the night, Wyatt Hendrickson won 9-5 in the first match, but Mason Paris had some good takedowns here. It was much closer than it looked. And then in the second match of the night, Wyatt just kind of out-toughed him and wrestled really, really good, beating him by a lot. True third matches, Austin DeSanto won over by forfeit. Bill Bartlett won by forfeit. Landon Robideau won by forfeit. I mean, guys, what? I was going to live stream during this time too, but as soon as I saw two of the forfeits, I'm like, what is going on? Why is nobody wrestling? Are they actually injured or what? Evan Wick defeated Patrick Kennedy from Iowa. Evan Wick, after beating, again, one of Penn State's best ever, Jason Oath this year at RAF, I am super shocked. He's doing really good, and I'm really excited for that rematch happening at RAF next month, so we'll see what happens with that. Parker Ketkheisen and Aiden Sinclair was a phenomenal match. If you didn't have time to watch that, go watch these two former teammates from Ben Askren's academy wrestle each other because it was sick. And then Dustin Platt from Oklahoma State, Tech Fault, Seth Shumate. But it was an awesome night for USA Wrestling. I think Flow Wrestling does a great job with the Final X stuff. That might just be me, but I really feel like them doing the Final X stuff is great for the sport. They just added that, I think, 10 years ago, so I think it's awesome. It gives better looks for weight classes, too. Not many people who watch wrestling know that there's 10 weight classes at Worlds and only 6 in Olympics. So I think it's a great thing that people can really watch a well-organized event. I thought the production was great. I thought it flew nice. They did 2 matches, and then they did a commercial break. I thought everything had a great flow to it. Was just a great night by Flow Wrestling. So shout out to them for doing an awesome job. But my MVP for Final X has to be Spencer Lee. After losing on the world stage to Luke Lildahl as the world champion with that crazy headlock, it seems like there was always something at the end of the match. So he overcame adversity again. I'm sure there was a ton of memes about him getting thrown to his back, and then he beat Luke Lildahl 2 matches to none. So shout out to Spencer Lee. That second match was still crazy when Luke scored that 4-point move in the first match. It was wild. Again, recapping my biggest surprise, Stephen Buchanan for sure. And who am I most excited to watch going forward? I have 2 picks for this one. I would say watching James Green at the Worlds is going to be extremely exciting. And I would like to see what Marcus Blaze can do. I know he's a phenomenal wrestler, and obviously beating Jax Forrest was crazy. But I would really like to see what Marcus Blaze is going to do. And I hope he does a fantastic job and gets the job done, or even just medals. He has a huge career ahead of him. So shout out to him. And again, big shout out to my man Marcus Shumper in the chat. You the man. We do have a great team this year, men and women. Worlds are too far away. Isn't it in August? Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Hamidi Torres, Nia, I agree with you. I think that's what happened. Buchanan is a force to be reckoned with. He's like a sponge on learning. Buchanan is an animal. And it's crazy to think just 3 years ago, he lost to Aaron Brooks, and now he can maybe contend with him. Who knows? Yeah, those third place matches were a joke. I mean, how do you not finish the job? Everybody's making fun of the Ferrari brothers and all the NCAA finalists that don't wrestle for 3rd and 5th and 8th. I mean, it's the same thing. What happened? And I hope Lee recovers after being knocked out on his feet. Yeah, that was unbelievable. He has to stop doing that. Appreciate you, Marcus. It means a lot to me. Shout out to Marcus for watching. You're the man. Appreciate all you. If you're ever in Connecticut, come on down to FAA or New Haven Wrestling, or come to FAA and do some youth wrestling with me. I'm the coach there. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Of course, get moving, everybody. See ya. You're the man. Thank you. Thank you all for joining. Get moving.